Good evening, everyone. My name is Joe Morone. I'm chair of the Foundation's Board of Directors, and on behalf of the entire board and staff of the Foundation, welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening. There are nearly 800 of us this evening from every corner of the state and every sector of our society. And just take a second to look around you. What you see is the New Hampshire Charitable Foundation. The foundation is all of us. It's a community comprising hundreds of donors, like many of you here tonight, working with hundreds of not-for-profits, represented by so many of you here tonight, supporting tens of thousands of students and children, adults, and families in need, advocating for essential public policy, and building coalitions that plug at least some of the gaps in New Hampshire's safety net. The foundation is everyone you see here tonight and a whole lot of others not here, working together in community, in pursuit of a shared purpose, a noble and enduring shared purpose, to make New Hampshire a more just, sustainable, and vibrant community where everyone can thrive. Everyone. Wherever they come from, wherever they live, whatever their age, whatever they look like, whatever their faith, whatever their politics, whomever they love. Our shared purpose is to do what we can, each of us as best we can, individually and collectively, directly and indirectly, in large ways and small, to make New Hampshire a place where everyone thrives. We haven't had one of these large annual meetings since 2019, before COVID. But this year, particularly now, particularly in this moment, we needed to gather in this large way. And I'm pretty sure everyone here understands why. It's the chaos that surrounds us. It's the vitriol. It's the cruelty towards society's most vulnerable members. It's the assault. It's the assaults on public education and higher education and humanitarian aid abroad and Medicaid and food assistance. It's those executive orders and the rescissions of existing federal funding and the looming cuts to future federal funding. And yes, now it's also the severe shortfalls at state funding. We needed to gather here this evening because that shared and noble purpose of ours, to make New Hampshire a place where everyone can thrive, that's now at risk. The not-for-profit sector in this state and the children and families and communities and causes that it serves are under more duress today, under greater strain than at any time in the 63-year history of the Foundation. For all the good work of everyone in this hall and so many others out in our community, our shared purpose is now in jeopardy. And that's why we needed to be here this evening. We needed to publicly and collectively reaffirm our commitment to that shared purpose, and not only to reaffirm our commitment, but to redouble it as individuals and together in community to support and encourage each other to not only stay the course, but to accelerate and to keep accelerating until we get to the other side of this dark moment. And that's why, on behalf of the Foundation's board and staff, I thank you sincerely for joining us tonight. For nearly 6 years, I've had the honor of serving on this board with a remarkable group of community leaders. 3 of them are completing their board service next month, and I'd like to close my remarks by recognizing them and also introducing our 2 new board members. Pawn Nichitan has been a long-standing member of the board's executive committee and a transformative chair of its governance committee. Pawn leads City Year New Hampshire, the nonprofit that does so much good work in our schools and that now, appallingly, is facing drastic cuts in federal funding to the AmeriCorps program. By the way, those young people who welcomed all of us when we arrived this evening, they are City Year associates. So please join me in thanking them, and especially in thanking Pawn for her service. Barbara Couch. Barbara has served on the board for 8 years, 5 of them as chair or vice chair. Through her gracious and inclusive style of leadership, Barbara has left an indelible mark on the foundation and board's chemistry and culture. The Couch Family Foundation is a critical partner in our early childhood initiatives, and Barbara and her family are renowned for their service, leadership, and generosity. Please join me in thanking Barbara for her deep commitment to our shared purpose. And Jerry Ann Bogus has been on the board for 6 years. I agree with that, by the way, serving on the governance committee for much of that time. She was a powerful voice in the development of the foundation's Together We Thrive strategy, even as she was building the Black Heritage Trail of New Hampshire, that unique force that teaches us all about our shared history. Everyone in this room who's had the privilege of working with Jerry Ann knows that to serve with her is to see firsthand what acting with the courage of your convictions looks like. Thank you, Jerry Ann. And now our new board members. Jamie Burnett is president of Sightline, a public affairs and government relations company. He served as co-director of the transition team for Governor Chris Sununu, and earlier in Washington, D.C., as a senior aide to Senators John E. Sununu and Judd Gregg. Jamie has served on numerous nonprofit and civic boards, including as trustee and vice chair of the University System of New Hampshire. And Tom Burak, a leading practitioner of environmental law in this state, served for over a decade as commissioner of the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services. Among many notable experiences, including leading the boards of several prominent nonprofits, Tom served as law clerk for the late Honorable U.S. Supreme Court Justice David H. Souter during his time on the New Hampshire Supreme Court. Jamie and Tom, thank you, and welcome to the Foundation Board. Finally, I would like to recognize the Foundation staff, led, of course, by Dick Ober and the leadership team of Melinda Mosier, Kristen Oliveri, Simon Delecta, and Michael Wilson. This group you see up here, this is a talented, passionate group of individuals who, like so many of you here this evening, have dedicated their professional lives to the pursuit of our shared purpose. They're all wearing red ribbons, so once this program concludes, and it should take about an hour, please stay, keep the conversation going back in the room we came from, and do seek out and chat with those red ribbon members of the staff, along with the blue ribbon members of our board who are sitting up here in front. Blue or green. And now, it's my great pleasure to turn the podium over to the remarkable individual who has for the past 15 years been the Foundation's visionary architect and driving force, our president and CEO, Dick Ober.